Welcome back to Primetime News, and a special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. Education Minister Favour Williams has outlined plans for a phased reopening of schools starting on October 5 based on a vulnerability index and risk ranking measure. The Education Ministry says the plan was outlined today during a meeting with the E-COVID Management Task Force.
October 5 is the date the government announced schools will reopen. Some have already started online classes and await guidance from the Education Ministry and health officials when physical attendance can resume amid a recent spike in COVID-19 cases. Today, Education Minister Favour Williams says the plan for reopening will comprise 3 approaches, including full face-to-face engagement.
There are schools that can reopen with full face-to-face class engagement. There are other schools based on the risk ranking as well, based on the communities in which they're located. Ministry of Health inspection report, the state of their physical infrastructure and so on, that can be opened with the hybrid approach, meaning a combination of face-to-face and remote learning. And there are schools based again on the risk ranking that it would be best for them to go to a full remote learning.
Mrs. Williams says the ministry is being guided by a range of factors to determine the vulnerability profiles of the communities in which schools are located. These include a risk ranking of communities, the Health Ministry's inspection report on COVID-19 protocol readiness, state of the physical infrastructure, adequacy of teaching and support staff, and quality of internet connectivity. She says the plan will be refined over the next few weeks.
You can imagine that we have to communicate quickly in short order with schools. We are pulling together all the different pieces of information that we need to in order to fully guide the process so that the information flows well and that we're able to deal with all the questions that may come back to us, and we're able to guide the process.
The Education Minister also says a public education campaign will be launched to sensitize all stakeholders as a part of the preparations for the new normal for education. Dashan Hendricks, TVJ News.
In the meantime, the Education Minister says funds were allocated to schools in June for their back-to-school reopening program. Mrs. Williams says the ministry stands ready to revisit additional requests related to COVID-19 protocols. To date, infant schools and early childhood institutions have been allocated $25 million, primary schools more than $577 million, and secondary schools $3.4 billion.